Like everyone else, we were watching the press briefing about 6 weeks ago when they announced that open air theatres could reopen. We weren't expecting that announcement, so that literally overnight we tried to work out what we would be able to perform and decided by the following morning that we would go ahead with Jesus Christ Superstar. That process then of about 4 weeks between making that decision and actually opening, and normally that planning period would be about 8 months long. So it was a very, very fast process to get the show up and running.
Guy Robinson called me and said, would you like to take part in a drive-in production of Horrible Histories? And I said yes, without hesitation. The experience of putting this show together during this crisis has been very different.
In terms of the performers themselves, they have to be 2 meters apart from each other throughout the entire show, unless they're singing face to face, in which case they have to be 3 meters apart.
We rehearsed in my living room socially distanced up until they allowed us to be in each other's bubbles. So we declared each other in our bubbles and set that, and so we could perform the show exactly as we would in the West End.
All the band have to be 2 meters apart from the brass and the woodwind, who have to be at least 3 meters apart, probably more. So we had to actually take half the band somewhere in a tent backstage so that they can all be properly spaced out.
So one of the things we've struggled with and wanted to find out how we're going to do that is when people are sitting in cars, how do we interact with them? How do they get them to interact with us? So we've used the environment that we're all living in at the moment and the strange times we're in to adapt the show to that circumstances, while at the same time getting all the usual things that we love about Horrible Histories, which is the fun, the jokes, the comedy, the history, the gore, the gruesomeness, the disgusting side of life, but in this setting. And in fact, this setting is rather fabulous.
So I think if I were advising other people who were looking to open as well, I think the important thing would be to be as clear as possible in advance with audiences about the steps you're taking to ensure everyone's safety. And certainly we found that the more information you can give in advance, the more reassuring that is for people and the more happy they are to book tickets. So the theatre industry across the UK, and particularly in London, is a really important driver of the wider economy, and certainly so bringing audiences to theatre also means that people are going to restaurants and staying in hotels and then using other facilities in the area.
We find the audiences really love it, and they love getting to know how quirky and strange the British people are through these Horrible History shows.
The Culture Diary in promoting theatre outside the UK will certainly help to be bringing audiences back to theatre, which we certainly need, but will also contribute to restaurants and hotels and other attractions too.